All right, now to give us more perspective in terms of what is happening in the Russia-Ukraine war, we're joined by Mr. Fred Weir, who's joining us live from Moscow. He's a journalist and also a political commentator. Mr. Weir, in the pretty long address that Vladimir Putin made earlier today, he said that politics is the art of compromise. He also said that Russia is gaining ground and is winning this war. Now, Donald Trump has said that he wants to strike a deal and bring this war to an end. The question is this. You know, when Putin says that he's willing to negotiate without any preconditions and is also willing to compromise, what sort of a compromised settlement do you think Vladimir Putin could agree on in a war that he says he's clearly winning?
Well, he did say that Russia is close to accomplishing its primary goals, which suggests he's in an optimistic frame of mind. And he always says he's ready for negotiations, but he made some stipulations, I think, that are pretty clear. The territory that Russia has claimed, these four regions plus Crimea, I think he intends to annex them. He has. I mean, officially, the Russian government has annexed these lands, and I think that is a minimal demand, that territory. It's a huge swath of territory. And also, he keeps referring to the Istanbul agreements, the abortive deal that was struck back at the very beginning of the war. He keeps calling that the template. And what are the elements of that? I think certainly demilitarization of Ukraine, significant demilitarization, no NATO membership, and this idea that the regime in Kiev should be denazified, which I have never understood exactly, but it's some sort of neutered regime or friendly, accepting of Russian sphere of influence. There's some meaning to that which would require a political condition be imposed on Kiev.
You know, it's interesting that you mentioned all of these many factors where Vladimir Putin insists that he wants to have his way. He wants to annex and keep the territory that Russia has captured so far in the war, and he also does not want Ukraine to go under the umbrella of the NATO military alliance. If the West agrees to this under Donald Trump, then this is effectively a surrender to the terms that Vladimir Putin has imposed. And for any negotiations to succeed, there's got to be a win-win situation for the two sides. Do you think the Americans would agree to a deal which is not a face saver for them?
I have no idea what Donald Trump has on his mind. He's being very cagey about it. He's surrounded himself with people with completely opposite opinions about what to do. So I think we just have to wait for Trump to come in. As for Putin, he said he hasn't talked to Trump for 4 years, and he doesn't seem to show any. He's willing to meet and talk with the man, but otherwise he didn't say he's waiting with any kind of enthusiasm for Trump to arrive. I think Putin has his own ideas about how the war will end, and I just sort of outlined what he hinted at. As for the Americans, I don't know. I think that at this point, the best thing, I mean, this is my opinion, the best thing that could emerge is most of Ukraine receiving independence. Maybe something like Finland during the Cold War. A neutral status doesn't mean they can't have their democracy and develop and even keep their doors and windows open to the West. But some kind of end to the war, end to the fighting, a legal conclusion to it, and a chance for Ukraine, or what's, most of it, 80% of it, to build its own life.
All right. We'll have to leave there. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Fred Weir, for joining us and getting us that perspective there.
Thank you very much.